So actually, let's find some movement. Downward facing dog. So before we find a little stillness, we're gonna find some movement. So go ahead and find your downward facing dog. And we're gonna be here probably a couple minutes. So you can stay in downward facing dog and find some movement there by walking it out. Bending a knee, opposite heel gets a little bit closer to the ground. You could even come into a plank if you like for a couple breaths. You could even find cat-cows. Basically just find some movement for the next minute and 45 seconds or so. So just get the body moving, get some blood flowing, and then we're gonna find stillness and our breath soothe. So again, a little movement before stillness. Cat-cows, plank, downward facing dog. Just make it a little dynamic before we find our stillness. About another 45 seconds or so. So in about 20 seconds or so, we're going to find a little stillness. Go ahead and come back to a seated position. So whatever that comfortable seated position is for you. So if you have a pillow or some blocks potentially, allowing those hips to be a little bit tilted forward. So if you have tight hips, you might want to sit on something. Spine is relatively straight. Go ahead and start to slow it down. Close the eyes. Start to bring that awareness to your breath with the eyes closed. Nothing fancy yet, just being that witness, the observer. Inhales coming in through the nose. Exhaling out through the nose. Allowing the abdomen, the belly to fully expand on that inhale. Slowly descend, contract the belly back towards the spine on the exhale. And without forcing anything, we slowly start to elongate the inhale. Slowly start to elongate the exhales. We'll be here for about another minute or so. So establishing this connection with your breath. Helping you to integrate your mind and your body. Helping you with this integration of mind and body to be completely absorbed and present in the moment. In essence, that's what we're trying to do here on the mat. Hopefully we generalize this off the mat. Trying to find that flow state or be in the zone. I like to call that samadhi in yoga. more cycles of breath here. Maybe start to tap into that ujjayi breath, the breath of victory, that slight constriction in the back of the throat. It's like a steam or a hissing sound, very similar to fogging up a mirror, but the mouth is closed. We try to utilize this breath throughout our entire asana practice. On your next inhale, you're going to sweep the arms up, salute the sun. Maybe look up towards the hands. And then as you exhale, bring the palms together and slowly draw them into the heart center. Couple breaths here. So oftentimes, teachers talk about setting an intention or maybe even a devotion. I'd kind of like to do the opposite this morning. So without having any intention, just being awake and open to whatever happens this morning on your mat. In Zen, we could call this empty mind or beginner's mind. So no intention. And then we just start to add some movement with our breath. So go ahead and come back to your tabletop. And then bringing that right arm out in front, thumb facing up, left leg behind you, point the toes. We're going to make this a little fluid. So on your inhales, you find a little more length. As you exhale, right elbow, left knee, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin. And we're just going to simply flow back and forth. So utilize that entire inhale to find your length. The entire exhale, pushing into the mat, that left hand tucking tailbone and chin, belly button back towards the spine. And then we're just going to keep flowing here for a few more cycles of breath. Couple more rounds here. So tapping into more of that right side, that creative side, that feeling side. So you might hear my classes, mind less, feel more. On your next inhale, go ahead and stay here. Flex the toes back towards you. So we're firing up that quadricep, pushing into the earth with that left hand, belly button back towards the spine. Take one more slow, deep inhale. Exhale, come back to your tabletop. Switching sides, left arm out in front, thumb facing up. Right leg behind you, point the toes. Take that inhale, find a little more length. Exhale, contract, bring it into a ball. And then again, keep flowing here with your breath. Just being open, receptive, no intention. Couple more rounds here. Again, utilizing entire inhale and exhale to complete the movement. Synchronizing mind, body, breath. On that next inhale, stay here. This is our active stillness, so we're not just hanging out. Keep pushing into the earth with that right hand. Straightening the left arm. Flex the toes back towards you. Take one more slow, deep inhale. Slow exhale to come back to tabletop. And then find any version of child's pose. So here you can bring the big toes together and open up the knees wide. Sink the hips back, arms out in front. Or you can bring the knees a little bit closer together. Arms behind you, palms facing on the mat. A couple more breaths here to reset. So anytime you need a little respite, a little pause, maybe you need to reconnect with the breath, you could come back to child's pose. Come back to your tabletop. Bring those hands out in front of you several inches. Shift the weight forward so those shoulders are again over elbows, over wrists. We'll take a couple breaths here. So this is your modified plank. If you want, you can curl the toes. Take one or both knees off the ground for 2 more breaths. Any version of the plank. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. So a couple breaths here. So keeping that weight towards the balls of the feet. Almost feel like you could fall over. Relax the neck, let the head be heavy so your head is just melting, dripping into the mat. And then walk your hands out towards your plank again. So you can, again, drop a knee or two if you want. You can see if you could keep the knees off the ground. And then pick that right leg up here for a couple breaths. So you can keep the toes pointed or flexed, it's up to you, but keep pushing that earth away. Pushing that left heel back towards an imaginary wall behind you. Lifting that left kneecap, go ahead and drop that right foot, lift the left leg off the earth. Same thing, a couple breaths here. Keep pushing into the mat with hands. Right heel back towards an imaginary wall. Belly button back towards the spine. Left foot meets the earth. Walk your hands back towards your feet. One more time, walk it out to your plank. So we're going to stay here about 5 cycles of breath. So you have options. You could stay here in your plank. You could drop a knee or two. You could even lower it down, chaturanga, if you want a little more heat. Stay there for another couple breaths. Try to keep those shoulders parallel, if anything, above the elbows. So instead of here, we're here. And then now walk your feet towards your hands for another forward fold here. So a couple breaths. Again, keep that weight towards the balls of the feet. Relax the neck, let the head be heavy. Almost feel like you're going to fall forwards. And then releasing any binds you may have, very slowly start to roll up to standing. And then keeping those feet about hip width distance, bring the palms together in the heart center. On your next inhale, salute the sun, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bring the palms together into the heart center. Stay here for a moment. So find something, someone, anything to be thankful for. Maybe being thankful for this moment. So Ram Dass, be here now. Who are you this moment? On your next inhale, sweep the arms up. As you exhale, sink back into your imaginary chair. So now we want the weight of the heels. You should be able to lift the toes off the ground. Active stillness. Every inhale, maybe lift the heart center just a hair. Every exhale, maybe sink the hips back just a little bit more. 2 more breaths. On your next inhale, come to standing. Exhale, bring the palms into the chest. Inhale, sweep the arms back up. Exhale, sink back into your chair. Option here if you want to come up on the balls of the feet. And then maybe lift the heart center a little bit, maybe look up. one more inhale here. Exhale, fold forward, lead with the heart center. Inhale, flatten out, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step back, find your plank. Two more breaths here. Vinyasas are optional. So take your inhale first. Exhale, vinyasa, just meet in downward facing dog. Couple breaths here. If you're familiar with the bandhas, after your slow, deep inhales, as you exhale, pull in the pelvic floor, draw belly button back towards the spine. So this is Muladhara, Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha. So inhale, exhale, pull in the pelvic floor, belly button back towards the spine. On your next inhale, come up on the tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step, walk, or float. Inhale, finding that length in the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up, salute the sun. On your exhale, fold again. Inhale, find length in that spine. Exhale, come back to that plank. Slow, deep inhale. Exhale, vinyasa, downward facing dog. And again, we'll take a few breaths in this downward facing dog. And again, if you're familiar with the bandhas, breathe into the heart center or the back of the heart center. That's your inhale. As you exhale, pull in the pelvic floor. Pull the belly button back towards the spine. Exhale, really contract, engaging the abs. Inhale, let that go. Breathe into the heart center, back of the heart center. Two more breaths here. Mind less, feel more. On your next inhale, roll into your plank. Exhale, vinyasa, or downward facing dog. Inhale slowly, that right leg up towards the ceiling. Point the toes. Couple breaths here, so you're pushing that earth away. Keep those hips level. Lifting that left quadricep, dropping that left heel. Take one more inhale, maybe a little more lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Immediately inhale that left leg up. Point the toes, active stillness. You're pushing that earth away. Engaging that right quadricep. Take one more inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale that right leg back up. Exhale, bring it to your nose as you shift the weight forward. Inhale it back up. So at your own pace here in your breath, keep going a couple more rounds. Exhale, knee to nose. Keep flowing. On your next exhale, stay here. So knee to nose, that's the exhale. So stay here, bring this heel to buttocks. Inhale that leg back up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale that knee to nose. Same thing, keep flowing with your breath. Exhale, inhale. See if you can slow the breath down. Utilize that Ujjayi breath. More oxygen to and from heart, lungs, muscles, so creating a little bit of heat. On this next exhale, we're going to stay here for our active stillness. See if you can bring that heel to buttocks. There we go. And then inhale it back up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Give the chest, shoulders, triceps a little respite here. So again, keep using that breath here. So we're utilizing the breath here to help us recover, reset. More oxygen to and from heart, lungs, muscles. And then walk the hands back out to downward facing dog. And then inhale that right leg up nice and slow. Exhale, plant it in between the hands. We're gonna find our crescent lunge here. So we'll take our time here on this first one. So squaring the hips towards the front of your mat. So maybe that right hip back just a little bit, left hip forward. Eventually right thigh parallel to the earth. We want pretty much a straight line here from right knee to right ankle. Maybe you bring the arms up so we can engage the shoulders here a little bit more. Find your breath, find your stillness. One more slow, deep, nourishing inhale. Cleansing exhale to wash through your vinyasa, or just meet in downward facing dog. A breath or two here. And then it's an inhale to lift that left leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale with intention, planting that foot in between the hands. Take your time here, finding your way to your crescent lunge again. So I work with a lot of athletes. You always hear practice makes perfect. I think that's pretty close. We talk about more practice with intention, so kind of mindfulness, if you will, being present. A couple breaths here. So we're not just going through the motions, if you will. Breath and stillness. Taking one more inhale, maybe look up. Exhale, wash through your vinyasa or downward facing dog. So again, with sport, we talk about flow or being in the zone. There's just so much parallels between sports, yoga, asana. We call it samadhi, but basically that's our yogic version of flow or being in the zone. On your next inhale, come up on the tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step, walk, or float. Inhale when you get there to find that length of the spine. Exhale, very slowly with the heart center and fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Maybe even come up on the tiptoes. See if you could stay on the tiptoes. Take one more slow, deep inhale. Sink into that lifted chair. You could always drop the heels, but see if you could stay here for a couple breaths. Maybe lift the chest and look up. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, drop the heels, lead with the chest, fold. Inhale, find your length. Exhale, vinyasa, downward facing dog. See if we can move slowly here with our breath. So inhale slowly, that right leg up. Exhale, bring it to your right tricep. Inhale it back up. Exhale, opposite tricep. Inhale it back up. Exhale to the nose. Inhale it back up. Exhale, plant it in between the hands. We'll go back to this crescent lunge here. See if you can bring the palms to meet out in front of you. So we're gonna find stillness here with our lower body and add a little bit of movement here. So Shiva on the bottom, Shakti on the top. So inhale, draw this right arm across the left. Maybe even look back. And then as you exhale, slowly bring the palms back together. So simple flow here. So keep this nice, slow, deep inhale. Straight arm, exhale. And let's keep flowing here. So keep this straight when you come back. There you go. A couple more rounds. Just moving slowly here. So again, Shiva being the stillness, if you will, this aspect. Shakti, the spanda, the movement. So drop one more time, inhale. Straight arm, exhale. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, cactus arms. Couple breaths here. Keep breathing. On your next inhale, re-straighten the arms, look up. Exhale, vinyasa or downward facing dog. So the slower we move, there's more time under tension. Athletes like time under tension. You could find that in stillness, active stillness, and slow movement. Inhale that left leg up slowly. Exhale even slower, same side, left tricep, knee. Inhale it back up. Exhale, opposite tricep. Inhaling it back up. Exhale even slower, that knee to nose. Inhale it back up. Exhale, planting that foot in between the hands. So left side, find that crescent lunge. Find that stillness, that stability here with the lower body. Bring those palms to meet out in front. Combining some slow movement with stillness. So inhale, draw this left arm across the right. Maybe look back. Straight arm, exhale. Keep flowing here. So again, integrating mind and body, utilizing our breath here as the mediator. One more inhale as we draw that across. Exhale, palms meet. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, lift the heart center, cactus arms for a couple breaths. So usually a little more challenging to breathe in back bends, but that's why we call it a practice. On your next inhale, re-straighten the arms, look up. Exhale, wash through your vinyasa, downward facing dog. We're going to take about 5 breaths or so. So you could find your downward facing dog for these 5 breaths. You could find child's pose for these 5 breaths. You could find plank. You could find chaturanga if you want more heat. A few more cycles of breath are wherever you are, breathing consciously, breathing intentionally. And then go ahead and come back to your tabletop. And bring that right arm out in front of you. Thumb facing up. Left leg behind you. And then see if you could open up that right arm out to the side and that left leg out to the side. There you go. We'll stay here for a couple breaths. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's kind of like this. Very common to get cramps here. We don't always engage these. 2 more breaths, thumb facing up. There we go. Use your breath. Come back to tabletop. Take a couple breaths here to reset. And then go ahead and switch sides. Left arms facing out in front with your thumb facing up. Right leg behind you. And then when you're ready, open the left arm so you're kind of like this-ish. I'm not really warm to do this. I'd be cramping myself. So keeping that thumb facing up. There we go. You all right? Yeah. Come back to your tabletop. Hands out in front of you a few inches. Find your version of a plank. 2 slow, deep breaths here in this plank. So that should be about 2 minutes. Slow it down. Take one more slow, deep inhale. Exhale, vinyasa or downward facing dog. Can't have my model cramping. So I'm looking for new models, obviously, so DM me if you want to be in this. Inhale to come up on the tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step, walk, or flip. Find that length on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, salute the sun, sweep the arms up. Exhale as you bring those palms together in the heart center. We're going to find our stillness here, find our breath. We'll be here for about 3 or 4 more breaths. Again, if you want to engage Mula and Uddiyana Bandha, as you exhale, you start to pull on the pelvic floor. Pull that belly button back towards the spine. Exhale, tense, contract, and then inhale, let it go. Allowing those feet to be hip width distance. On your next inhale, sweep the arms up. As you exhale, sink deep into your chair. So see if we can get arms, thighs parallel to the earth, looking straight down. See if you can lift the toes off the ground. Stay here and breathe. So we're evening out our imbalances here as we find stillness. Allowing that breath to help us even out our imbalances mentally, physically, emotionally. Take one more inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, find length in the spine. Exhale as you find your plank, plant your hands. Take one more slow, deep inhale. Exhale, vinyasa or downward facing dog. Inhale slowly that right leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, cross it over opposite tricep. And then plant that leg out to the side. As you inhale, peel open this left arm. So we're going to stay here for a couple breaths. You can lift that leg up off the ground if you want. So it's something like this. You could take a bind. And then bringing that left hand back to the earth. Inhale that right leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale to that right tricep. Stay here. Keep pushing into the earth. Inhale that right leg back up. Exhale to the nose. Inhale it back up. Exhale, planting it in between the hands. Coming back to crescent lunge again. And then now we're going to lower this left knee like an inch off the ground. Bringing our hands out in front of us. Palms facing up. Lean back a little bit. Stay here and breathe. In through the nose if you can, out through the nose. So you've heard this before, kind of finding that comfort within the discomfort, if you will. On your next inhale, bring the arms up, look up. Exhale, wash through your vinyasa or downward facing dog. Inhaling that left leg out. Exhale to that opposite tricep. Pause. Plant that foot out to the side. Inhale, peel open that right arm. So we're pushing into the earth with that left hand, keeping the hips lifted. Option to take that left foot off the ground if you want. Take a bind, something. Keep breathing. And then right hand back to your mat. Inhaling that left leg up slowly, core centrically. Exhale to that left tricep, same side. Stay here. Push into the earth. Inhale that leg back up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale it back up. Exhale, plant that foot in between the hands. Crescent lunge. And then go ahead and lower that right knee an inch off the ground. Palms out in front, facing up. Lean back just a little bit. And then breathe. You might feel a little burn in your left thigh. Maybe. On your next inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, vinyasa, downward facing dog. About 2 breaths in this downward facing dog. So if you have a jump through, practice your jump through, or just find your way to your back. So find your way to your back. And then go ahead and bend the knees, allow those shins to be parallel to the ground. Shins parallel to the ground, yeah. Bring your right hand up over your head about an inch off the ground. And then re-straighten that left leg about an inch off the ground. Flex the toes. Left hand wherever you want. Just another breath here. Go ahead and switch sides. So right leg. There you go. Flex the toes, just a couple breaths. We're gonna make this a little more dynamic here in a second. All right, then come back to both knees in the chest for a moment. Maybe give them a little squeeze. And then go back to that right leg out in front of you. Flex the toes, but leave your right hand on your right thigh. And then straighten the left foot. Left arm up overhead. An inch off the ground. Yeah. So in 3 seconds, you're gonna push as hard as you can with that hand and then push back with the leg. 3, 2, 1. So push and resist. Really push in and resist back. Keep breathing. Relax for a breath. Switch sides. Left hand, the left thigh. Shin off. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Push. Resist back. Keep breathing. And then go ahead and bring both knees back into the chest. Maybe gently rock side to side. So I don't know if you guys could hear the roosters outside. That's Toby and or Tony. Go ahead and plant the feet on the mat. Do a couple rounds of windshield wipers here. So we're going to start to slow it down. Okay, but the breath remains. So we're utilizing the same breath here to allow those muscles to open, lengthen, recover. Same thing going on with our mind and our emotions. If you want, you could coincide breath with movement. Inhale when the knees come to center. Exhale as we drop down to either side. And then when you find yourself back to center, Bring both knees into the chest for a moment. So just gonna find a spinal twist here. So now go ahead and release that left leg onto the mat, let it relax. So any version of a twist here, but maybe you want to take that left hand on the outside of the right knee. Find your spinal twist, maybe look out over that right shoulder. We'll take a couple breaths here. And then slowly come back to center. Taking your time here, we'll switch the legs out, left knee into the chest, right leg relaxed out on the mat. Take your time, you'll find your version of a twist here. Maybe we're looking out over that left extended arm. Slow, deep inhales and exhales. And slowly come back to center. Maybe bring the knees back into the chest for a moment. And then come back to that comfortable seated position. Whatever that looks like for you, something where the spine's relatively straight. So finding a little stillness here, closing the eyes, bringing that awareness back to the breath. Slow, deep inhales through the nose. Slow, deep exhales out through the nose. We're going to take about 5 more cycles of breath here. So in yoga we call this Sthira Sukha or Sthira Sukha Asana. So it's kind of finding that sweet spot of effort and ease. So we're not forcing it, but see if you could fully take these complete, long, deep inhales. Full, deep, long, extended exhales. Sthira Sukha, effort and ease. We're not forcing. We're not just hanging out right now either. Couple more cycles of breath. Again, if you want to engage the bandhas here a little bit, Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, it's on the exhale. So get all of that exhale out, pull in the pelvic floor, pull that belly button back towards the spine. So we're really engaging here, squeezing. And then when you're ready to let go, inhale. So you can retain the breath after the exhale if you want. So exhale, And then pull in the pelvic floor, belly button back towards the spine, holding breath, Kumbhaka. Really engaging the abs, pulling in the pelvic floor, and then inhale. And then now you have options. For about another minute here, you could stay here present in your meditation. If there's any asana pose posture you'd like to end your practice with before Shavasana, before corpse pose, take a minute here. And then eventually we're all going to meet in Shavasana or corpse pose. So when you're ready and you find your way to corpse pose, now we let everything go. Just completely relax, allowing those feet to naturally splay out, arms down by your side, eyes closed, allowing that breath to come back to its more natural breath pattern, and just letting go, melting into your mat. again, start to bring some awareness back to your breath. A couple slow, deep inhales and exhales. Starting to awaken the body here by wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, finding other movement here that feels good. If you want, maybe it feels good to reach the arms up overhead, pointing the toes, good morning stretch. Maybe knees back into the chest for a moment. When you're ready, roll over to either side, right side, left side, in a fetal position here for a couple breaths. And then coming back to your comfortable seat. See if you can keep the eyes still closed. Maybe bring the palms together into the heart center, slightly tucking the chin. And see if we could carry a little bit of this practice with us throughout the day. You can even set little alarms. So just come back to the moment, to your breath. And take a moment here to find something or someone, anything to be thankful for. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thanks, peeps. So again, please keep joining us.